to explain you one more metric that is a very important metric to calculate your model performance. How accurate your model is performing, or how accurately you are predicting the output. So for that purpose, we have one more metrics in the metrics. So here I specified different metrics, right? So here we have mean absolute error, mean squared error, as well as root mean squared error. Like this, we have one more matrix. So that is called as R2 score. Another matrix is R2 score. So to check the model performance, the most of the cases we are using this metric. So R2 score. So the formula for this thing is sum square of total samples by sum square of residuals. So if you are interested regarding this formula, so I will explain you that formula later, but this formula is not required to you. So here this is a formula for R2 score. So for the ideal case, this R2 square will be, so the ideal case, the R2 square value will be 1. And value of this R2 square always lies between 0 to 1. Value of this R2 score value is always lies between 0 to 1. So if R2 score is 1, so that is an optimum or exact solution. So you are predicting accurately. That means you are predicting accurately. So if you got R2 score as, so for the optimum case, so if you got R2 score for the model in the range as are above 70% or 0.7 above. If you get R2 score as above 0.7, that means your model is an optimum model or good model. So if you get R2 score above 70%, that is nothing but 0.7 percentage, then your model will be said as optimum model or best model. So if your R2 score is below the 70%, so if your R2 score is below 70%, that means your model is not accurate model or not a good model. So on such cases, you need not to perform that, you need not to consider that metric to calculate the any outcome. So the formula for this thing is, so here as I told you, sum square of total by sum square of residuals. So here sum square of total is nothing but, so here we need to say sum of sum of all the samples. So initially we need to say y predicted value. So initially we need to say y predicted value here, minus we need to say y real value. So here y real value is nothing but it is an actual point. Y is nothing but it is an actual point, and whereas it is a point which is lies on the prediction line. So we need to square this thing. Initially we need to square this thing. So here squaring is nothing but, so here I'm performing this thing. After this thing, sum of total is nothing but this is the sum square of total is nothing but it is the thing. Y predicted minus we need to remove the actual sample. So after that, sum square of residuals is nothing but here we need to consider actual point, that is yi. Sorry, here I want to specify this thing in brackets. So here we need to specify yi, that is nothing but the point which is present in the test set. After that, I want to specify y mean. So here it is a formula. So here we need to square this thing also. Sum square of total by sum square of residuals. It is the formula for R2 score, but this formula is not that much important to you. But you need to remember one thing. If your model returns R2 score above 70%, that is an optimum model or good model. If your R2 score is less than this 70%, your model is not a good model. So to explain you this thing, here I specified R2 score also. So in your previous project, so here it is your previous project. These are the different steps in this project. So finally, if you want to calculate the R2 score, it is also present in metrics only. So if you check metrics, in the metrics, so if you want to use R2 score, if you want to calculate R2 score from the metrics, we need to access this method, that is R2 score method. So in this R2 score, to calculate this R2 score, in this function, we need to specify y test as well as y predicted values. So coming to our simple linear regression model, we got R2 score as 0.98. So here it is very close to 1. That means it is a very good model or very best model. So we can import this specific function directly from the metrics also. It is a one way to import this R2 score from this metrics, and it is a another way. So if you want to follow this way, you can follow this way. Whereas if it is not convenient to you, go through this, accessing this R2 score by using this approach. So here it is about R2 score. So here it is about R2 score. So try to apply same R2 score on your previous model. Sorry, your one more model, that is multiple linear regression model. So this is about another metrics present in this regression models. So after this, we will discuss one more regression model, that is called as polynomial regression model. Till now, we saw the simple linear regression equation, that is y equals to mx plus c. After that, we saw the multiple linear regression equation, that is, so if you have multiple independent variables, that is nothing but if you have multiple inputs, we are using multiple linear regression. Like that. So next model is polynomial linear regression. Polynomial linear regression. So here for this mathematical equation will be y equals to m m1. So yeah, just wait. Yeah, y equals to, yeah, here it is a polynomial equation, right? M into x1 square. Sorry, m into, sorry, initially we need to say, yeah, m into x1. After that we need to say plus m into x1 square. So here we need to say square. So whatever the degree you want to keep, you can keep that degree. After that, here we need to specify the intercept point. So here in this case, I am considering only one parameter. That is nothing but in the degree I am keeping only 2. So whatever the degree you want to keep, you can keep that degree based on your requirement. So equation will be like this. So here initially we need to specify c. Here we need to specify m1 x1. So here we need to modify the parameters only. So whereas here coming to this thing, m2 x1 square. Like that, if you want to consider one more degree, here you need to say m3 plus, sorry, we need to say plus, right? m3 and x1 square. So here I am squaring each and every feature. So here it is the equation for multiple linear regression. M1 x1 plus m2 x1 square plus m3 x1 cube. So based on your requirement, if you want to increase the degree, you can increase the degree. Then you might get a question like, what is the requirement of this polynomial regression? Why we need to perform this polynomial regression? You might get a question like that. So for that, I will explain you the simple solution. Yeah, I'm sharing whiteboard with you. So here, let assume, so here I will, yeah, good. Yeah, good. So here I'm taking one simple bird. On this board I am drawing. So if you consider, let assume it is an x-axis as well as it is an y-axis. So here we are comparing two features. So let assume we are predicting the corona spread. So here I'm taking example as corona spread only. So here I want to change the color. So let assume, so here I have data points. So it is one data point, it is one more data point. So here it is spreading exponentially. Here I'm plotting, I'm giving data points exponentially in this fashion. So to predict the outcome here, if I plot a regression line, so to predict the outcome, if I plot a regression line, it is not predicting accurately. So in this case, we have this much error. So here to draw the error lines, I will take one more color. So coming to this case, we have this much error, and coming to this case, we have this much error, and coming to this case, we have little error. So here we have lot of error. So coming to this this kind of points, so here it is nothing but days. So on the x-axis I am taking days, and y-axis I am taking disease spread, how fastly it is spreading. I am calculating this thing, whereas here data is increasing exponentially. On such cases, if you apply the linear line, this model is won't work properly or accurately. On such kind of cases, if you want to predict the outcome, here we need to apply exponential equation. So here if you apply equation like this, so here if you apply the polynomial equation, this line will become like this. So it will predict the outcome very closely or very accurately. So here, if your dependent variable, if your outcome is exponentially varying based on the input, on such cases, we need to go with the polynomial linear regression. So here it is the motto behind this thing, and here it is the motto behind this thing. So I will share you the screen to explain you this project. Yeah, this is the thing. So if your output is exponentially increasing based on the input, on such cases, we need to use this polynomial linear regression. So here it is one important interview question. Remember this thing. Why we are saying polynomial regression as polynomial linear regression? Why we are saying linear? So here we are performing squares and cubes, such kind of things. Again, why we are saying this thing as a linear regression model only? For that, simple answer is, so we are saying whether that model is linear or not based on this intercept point. So based on this coefficients only we are saying m1, m2. Based on this coefficients only we are saying whether it is a linear model or non-linear model. Coming to this polynomial regression model, here what I am saying, m1 x1, m2 x2 square, m1 x1 square, m3 x1 cube. So here we are saying like that. It means here what we are saying, we are taking slope only. Here slope is linearly dependent here. So here with the slope, output is depends in linear fashion only. Remember this thing, simple thing. So based on the slope or it is not an intercept, it is in coefficient. Based on the coefficient, we are saying whether that model is linear or not. So here we are consider all the coefficients as a linear coefficients only. That's why we can say this polynomial regression model also linear regression model. So here we will see the project now. So for that purpose, I will explain you the data set in the desktop. Yeah. Here we have intent folder. Okay. In this intent folder, yeah, we have regression model. In this regression model, we have polynomial regression, linear regression folder. In this, we have one CSV file. Initially, I want to see what is the content present on that CSV file. So for that purpose, what we need to do? Yeah, we need to go to the directory. So here it is the location. So here in this file, we need to go to the regression folder. In this regression folder, we need to go to this polynomial regression. Here we need to see the position salaries.csv. So here I'm opening this XLS file. Sorry, it is a CSV file. So before this thing, I will explain you one more thing. How to open a file which is present in different location. Till now, I am explaining everything. So by keeping that CSV file or Excel file in the same working directory. Whereas so if you have CSV file or Excel file in another folder, how to read such kind of files. So that thing I will explain you now itself. Whenever you want to work on any data set, first what we need to do, we need to import the essential library. So we will start with that thing only. It is loading. So in the same working directory, I'm creating one more project, that is polynomial regression model, that is for polynomial regression. It is loading still. Yeah, good. New file will be opened. So we will rename this thing later. So initially, what is the first step to work on any project? First, we need to import essential library. So I'm not doing that thing. I'm copy pasting same thing from the previous model itself. So here I'm importing essential libraries. And I'm running this portion. After that, what we need to do? We need to import the data set. Second point is importing the data set. So that thing also I'm copying. So here we need to import the data set again. Whereas coming to here, our data set is a different data set. So here coming to our perspective, so our data set is a different data set. For that purpose, we need to specify our data set name. So let us assume, so here every time I'm keeping the CSV file or Excel file in same working directory, what we need to do to access the CSV file present in another location or another working directory. So I will explain you that thing now. After explaining that thing, I will take this CSV file. Let assume on the desktop I have one CSV file. So let assume, so here we have this new files.csv or train kddc.csv. So I want to access this CSV file on that current working directory. So for that purpose, initially, sorry, just wait. Wait a minute, my laptop is stuck. Yeah, wait a minute, my laptop is stuck down. So here I want to read the file which is present on my desktop. So how to do that thing? So here for that we need to go into that specific folder. I want to read this file. So for that purpose, initially we need to know the file path for this file. So for that purpose, I am going to the properties of this specific file. I want to get properties of this file. So here, if you go to the security, yeah, here it is the file path for this specific file. I want to read the data which is present in this specific file. So for that purpose, what we are doing, I am copying this file path. So here I am copying this file path. After that, we need to paste that file path in our current working directory. So here, if you want to access the any file which is present in the different folder, we need to specify that file path. And to read that file here, we need to specify character R. Whenever you want to read the file from the different location, here to read that specific file, here we need to specify the character R outside this comments. And I am running this portion. So here, yeah, why it is giving, yeah, here we have import the data set, right? So we need to keep this thing in comments. Yeah, good. So if you run this thing, so here data set will be loaded, and I want to observe the top 5 rows present on the specific data set. So here it is the way to access the data set which is present in the different working directory. So here it is the data which is present on that specific data set. So here it is a way to access the data set which is present in the different folder. Now I want to access our original data set or our required data set. So how to access that thing here? We kept the CSV file in the same working directory. For that purpose, we need not to read that data set. We need not to specify reads or that thing. Here directly, if you specify the file name, that is, so what is our file name? Position underscore salaries. So here we have positions underscore salaries data set. So after that, I want to observe the data which is present in top 5 rows. And here initially I want to observe the entire data. For that purpose, here I'm saying data directly. So whenever, so here it is a data set which we have with us. So here we have different positions. Someone ping it in chat. Okay. So here it is the way to reading the data set. So here we specify the data set name, and here it is the data. So in the data set we have position of the specific employee, level of that employee, and salary based on his level. So here we need to predict the outcome of the person based on the level. So for that purpose, here we are considering two columns. One is level, another one is a salary. Based on the level, we need to predict his salary in the future. So here we have 9 samples. Based on these 9 samples, we need to predict the output. So here, if you observe this example, here we have very few data. That is nothing but we have only 10 samples of data. So if you have data with a very less samples, we need not to divide our data set into different parts. So here I am visualizing this data only by applying this polynomial regression model. So here I'm skipping the step of the splitting data set into train test split. So directly here I am applying the linear regression model. So how to apply linear regression model? Same thing I'm copying from this thing only. So here we need to divide this data set into train test split. That is the essential step. So after inputting that CSV file, we need to specify input as well as output. So here we need to specify that thing here. So here in this example, if you observe, except the last column, everything I want to consider as an input. So here after that, what we need to do? So here 2, 3 columns. Sorry, here we copied from the previous folder, right? So here we need to specify input as this level column, right? So it is present at 0th index, first index. We need to specify the column which is present at the first index. So for the purpose, what we need to say, 1:2. So here 1 is included, 2 is excluded. That means we are specifying input as this level column. So after that, for output, what we need to say here, we need to specify 2:3. So if you specify 2:3, 2 will be included, 3 will be excluded. So here I divided this data set in the form of training, sorry, input and output. So here it is here we have only few samples. So for that purpose, I'm not dividing this data set in the form of training and test set. So after that, what we need to do, we need to apply linear regression model on it. So here on this, we need to apply linear regression model. So here I want to apply linear regression. Sorry, here we are not doing this step. We are not splitting our data set. Why? Because we have very few samples in this data. So don't be confused. So to make you aware of that thing, I will explain you the classification also today itself. So here I am applying the linear regression model on it. So after this, what we need to do? So after applying linear regression model, what we need to do? Here we need to fit that data, so that algorithm to our model. So here for that purpose, I am saying regression, regressor, right? What is our object name? Regressor dot fit method. So we need to fit this data on x-axis as well as y-axis. Here I'm saying x comma y. So here I'm fitting this data. So here it is like simple linear regression model only. Here initially I did with the simple linear regression model only. Whereas if you observe the relation between this level and this salary, it is in exponential fashion. It is in exponential fashion. So to convert this x into in the form of, so we need to here we need to convert this x feature as, we need to convert this x as x square. So initially we need to take this thing as x. After this we need to convert this thing as x square. After this we need to convert x cube also. Based on your requirement, how many powers you want, you need to convert this x into this many ways. To convert this thing, we need to pre-process our data. So here we need to pre-process this data. To pre-process this data, what we need to do here from the sklearn, we need to take help of pre-processing library. So here from the sklearn, here I'm taking help of pre-processing. In the pre-processing, we have polynomial features. So from this, we need to import class polynomial features. From the sklearn pre-processing module, we need to import polynomial features. Polynomial features. So here I am importing this thing. So after importing polynomial features from this thing, here we need to create an object with this specific class, as you already aware of that thing. So here I want to store that thing in xpoly. I want to store all that polynomial features on this xpoly, and we need to create an objective with polynomial feature. So here with this name only we need to create an object. So here we are creating object. In this object we need to specify the degree. So degree is nothing but in the power till which thing you want to take. So here we need to specify attribute called degree. So in the power how many till how many exponents you want. So here for my project I want to take a degree as 3. That means I am considering these 3 parameters, like I want to consider x square, as well as I want to consider x cube also. So for that purpose, here I am specifying degree as 3. And after applying this thing, what we need to do after applying polynomial features, we need to apply this polynomial features on the data which is present in this x. So for that purpose, we need to fit the data on it on the specific axis. So here I am storing x poly. Here I am saying x poly equals to. So here we stored the thing in. So here polyreg, right? So what I said here, xpoly. So here I stored this thing in xpoly, right? So what is the object name which I kept? Xpoly only. So here polynomial, I applied the polynomial features. What I did? Okay, done. So here initially we took the class. After that we defined the object with that specific name, and I stored that object in xpoly. After that, sorry, here I want to specify polynomial regression. So we need to apply same thing on x, right? So we will keep that thing aside. So here I'm saying polynomial regression. After that I am saying x poly. I want to apply this polynomial features on the input. So I'm storing that thing on x poly variable. Here I want to apply polynomial regression data. So here I want to apply that polynomial features on this data. So polyreg, here I'm saying I want to fit transform the data which is present on x. So here I'm applying fit transform method. So here I am applying fit transform method on the data which is present in x. So here I am fitting and transforming the data which is present in x. After transforming the data, again we need to apply this y based on this polynomial features. So for that purpose, what we need to say here, we need to apply this polynomial feature on y also. So here I'm saying polyreg. So here I'm saying polyreg dot